Tell me about your background. How did you get started in the healthcare field?
Oh my goodness, that was a few years ago. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for about 27 years. I started my nursing career in the field of cardiology, and I've specialized in cardiology the entire time that I was a practicing RN. For some reason, and it was very much unintended by me, I managed to kind of work my way into management. So for the past probably 18 years, I've been working in healthcare management.
Did you miss the RN part of it, the nursing part of it?
I very much missed the RN part of it, and it really became apparent when I would go to a hospital and visit a friend or a relative or something and see the nurses busy, hustling and bustling. Yes, it did make me homesick. Very much so.
Yeah, well, it's unusual you've got skills from kind of both sides of the fence, you know, the management and the nursing.
Well, once I went into management, I realized, even though it was not nursing, bedside nursing, it still very much was nursing. I was able to use those principles and those things I learned along the way in my healthcare management, because I've always, even in management, supervised nurses. So I never really got out of healthcare. I just kind of got deeper into the administrative part of it. And I do have a master's in business as well, an MBA, and that did help very much as well in my administrative days.
Now, it's a big leap going from there to starting your own business, especially the business that we're talking about here. I mean, how did the idea come about? Why did you do it?
Well, of course, owning your own business is a basic American dream. It certainly was for me as I was growing up. My family, very much entrepreneurs on both sides of my family. My father's side of the family owned several businesses, as does my father still. And my mother's side of the family owned businesses as well. So I guess I kind of grew up in an entrepreneurial environment. And so deep down inside of me, it was always the dream to start my own business. And I really feel that my nursing days and my healthcare administrative days have very well prepared me for embarking on my own business. I've realized that you really do need to have a passion for doing this to really be successful. And so why did I pick this to be my business? You know, in my early nursing days, I realized very quickly that I had a passion for elderly patients. I just felt like they were helpless more so than others, and I found myself as a very young nurse literally going to funerals for patients that I cared for that passed away. And I finally had to stop doing that because I couldn't let go. And so I've always been drawn to elderly folks, and they've just always had a special place in my heart. And so when I decided to leave the corporate world, I felt like I had so much to offer society with my nursing background, with my MBA, and I thought, boy, what could I do that I really could utilize both? And I thought long and hard. I thought long and hard about taking the leap out of the corporate world and into my own. And you know, I had to put my mother in an assisted living facility a couple of years ago. And at that time, I began to think, you know, I think I could do this, and I think I could do it very, very, very well because of my passion for elderly. And that thought was like a magnet. It just wouldn't leave my mind. And so I just felt that it was time to take the leap. It was something that I was both passionate for and I felt was qualified for. And so that's why I did what I did.
Now, A Love for Life, oh, it's such a wonderful name. You know, it conjures up so much. But it's not a name you normally associate with the kind of business that you're in. I mean, how did you come out, how did you decide on what the name should be?
Well, I'm really proud of that name. And I'm proud of that name because I really wanted to select a name that really told our story and really tells what we're all about. And so one night, in the middle of the night, in the wee hours of the night, it came to me. And I said, that's it. That's it. A love for life. That's what we are. A lot of very hard work and thought went into both my name and my logo because I wanted them both to depict what we're all about, a love for life.
So how does that, a love for life, how does it realize itself in the day-to-day in the facility? And what does it really mean to the residents?
Well, you know, I have visited a lot of facilities along the way, just doing research and developing my own. And again, I don't want this stage of life to be depressing or to feel depressing, even though it can be. Most senior citizens are on antidepressants because they are depressed. They've lost so many things in their life. And it's a very sad time. And I just thought, and I said, it doesn't have to be that way. Even a little hug, even a little smile, even a little kiss on the cheek can brighten someone's day. Even to the last detail of selecting the homes that I select. They're bright, they're open, they're sunny, plenty of sunshine, and that was intentional. You know, way back in the developmental stages, I looked at 22 homes before I determined that this particular one, my first, would be the one, and largely due to the fact that it was bright, it had beautiful scenes, beautiful views out the windows, and so everything about us is bright and cheerful. Even the people I hire, I try to determine, you know, what their personalities are. Are they going to be cheerful? Are they going to be smiley? Are they going to give a hug and a kiss? And so even down to the last detail, I try to develop an environment of bright and cheerful and friendly and laughter. And we do have a lot of fun. We really pay attention to activities. We have some sort of activity every day, whether it's a formal activity where an activity director will come in and do arts and crafts, or you know, play bingo or brain games, memory games. We have a lot of music. I hire staff who can play. I have 2 staff right now who can sing and play the piano. And so we have a lot of impromptu activities. Well, the staff will just gather everybody in the room and say, come on, we're going to dance. We do a lot of that. And even the residents who don't want to come out of their room, maybe they have dementia, maybe they're a little confused, intimidated, and you know, to be around others. It's just amazing when you bring them out, even for 30 minutes, the smiles, the clapping. It's very, 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 very heartwarming.
Yes, and I can testify to that. I've been up there on numerous occasions, and I'm just blown away by the smiles on the residents' faces. And you can see that in the series of videos that we've got out now. You know, Esther, who was pulled in kicking and screaming about a year ago. And it's like, I didn't know her a year ago, but it's like night and day. You couldn't find a happier person.
Well, and speaking of Esther, I walked in there yesterday and the staff had their kitchen gloves on, and Esther had her gloves on, and another couple residents had their gloves on. I said, what are you all doing? And they said, we're making pumpkin Rice Krispie treats. And so they had the most precious little pumpkin Rice Krispie treats. They had green icing for the stems, and they had Tootsie Rolls sticking out for the, I guess that would be the stem, and the green was for the leaves. And they were so happy. They were literally digging in this big mound of Rice Krispie treats, making little. That was just an impromptu thing. One of the staff members said, hey, could you bring some Rice Krispies? We're going to do a project. And last Saturday, one of the other staff members decided to do masquerade masks with the residents. So she came in an hour early for her shift. Didn't ask her to do it. She just came in an hour early with this big bag of supplies, and an hour later they all had beautiful masquerade masks. It was just, the staff is just amazing. They just really enjoy the residents, and they love making them happy.
Yeah, it's one big family. There's a lot of communication. There's a lot of spirit together. It's not, These are just my own personal views, but I've seen other facilities as well. You know, there's the residents over there, and here's the staff over here, and there's a disconnect between the staff, and the staff don't feel kind of invested in the wellness of the residents. Whereas in a Love for Life, it's completely the opposite. And I think the staff, in my conversations with the staff, it's very rewarding for them. They get a lot out of it.
It is rewarding. At the end of the day, I mean, there are some tough days. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There are some very tough days. I mean, we're dealing with dementia. We're dealing with, at times, behavioral issues. We're dealing with death. You know, a Love for Life is an end-of-stage facility, which means that we don't kick people out at their last days. We just really pour on the compassion. And we keep them during the last days of their lives. So that's hard on the staff as well. You know, they do get attached to residents, and then at the end, they may be holding a resident's hand as they're passing away with tears flowing down their cheeks. So it's not easy, and there is some emotional strain, no question. But when I interview staff, I try to screen them for this. You do realize this is tough, that, you know, you're going to get attached to residents and they're going to pass away. And what I tell the staff is it's a normal part of life. And if we can give them every day the best day of their life, as it may be their last, and it very well may, then when they do pass away, we really need to hug each other, pat ourselves on the back, because we know in our hearts that we've done the very best we can, and that we've given them music, and we've given them song, and we've given them dance, and we've given them a reason to laugh and to have fun and to make Halloween Rice Krispie treats and the Christmas tree decorating and all those other things we do. At the end, I tell the staff, it's those things that matter, and you should be very, very proud of yourselves.
You've opened up a new chapter in their lives. That's what you've done, full of spirit and joy and happiness.
That's a great way to phrase it. We have opened up a new chapter in their lives. And you know, I keep the families involved. If we're doing something fun, music, you know, I'll video it on my smartphone and shoot it over to the son who lives in South Carolina. And he's just so appreciative and so happy seeing his mother, for example, standing and dancing. And I did this the other night, and I got a text back from him, and he said, "That's the mother I knew. Until my mother came to your place, she was just in her room all the time." And she said, "What I just saw is the mother I've always known."
The residents that you have, I mean, it's amazing to me. They come from all different backgrounds, and they are part of the culture there, the Love for Life. Do you screen your residents like you screen your staff? Are you looking for particular kinds of residents?
Well, to answer your question, I wouldn't call it screening. Yes, we do assessments, and I do all those assessments for potential residents, and I really try to strike a balance between physical and mental needs, and I think it's very important when you live in a small community such as residential homes where you have, you know, in my case 10 residents. I do think it's very important to assess residents to ensure not only are they qualified for assisted living, but that they also are going to mix with the family, so to speak. We think it's very important that we have a group of residents that get along well and that are balanced in both their physical and mental abilities.
And I have to ask you this question. Has it worked out how you envisaged?
And then some.
That's a good thing.
It's like I said, I've been a nurse for many, many, many years. I've been a healthcare administrator for many, many, many years and have had many accomplishments. I'm very proud of what I've done in the past. I'm very happy that what I've done in the past, I believe, has well prepared me for what I'm doing now. Nothing that I've done in the past has been as gratifying as what I'm doing now. I feel like it's very much an honor and a privilege to be able to take care of these senior citizens who have contributed so much to our society. And to be able to take care of them and to tuck them in bed and to spoon feed them at the end if that's necessary, to drizzle water in their mouth as they're passing away, there's nothing more gratifying. Because like I say to my staff, at the end of the day, I know without a doubt that we're providing the best care possible to our residents.
Would you do it again?
You bet.
So, it's been a very rewarding experience. You've been going for, what, 18 months now, isn't
About
it?
almost.
Yeah, almost 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
What are your plans for the future? Where do you go from here?
Well, of course, because since I have been successful, not only from a business standpoint, but more importantly from a gratification standpoint, I feel like I really have found my niche. And so, yes, I would love to do, and frankly, I'm in the planning stages of looking at developing more facilities.
Well, I wish you the best of success in your
Thank
future
you.
ventures.
Thank you.
And I have had the privilege of looking inside A Love for Life and meeting a lot of the residents, and I'm telling you, I couldn't find a bunch of happier folk. I
Well,
really
thank you.
couldn't. And that includes the staff as well as the residents.
Yeah.
So just looking from the outside, you've done a tremendous job there, and I know that the residents are very rewarded themselves. They're very thankful that they're there, and I think they've appreciated the time they've spent there. So,
Well, thank you, Steve.
thank you. Thank you.